Hi everybody, I'm here. Massaging Tony. So this video I had to re-record. This video is going to be my experience in massage school, and yeah. So essentially, my experience was like ghetto as fuck, and it was just hard. Like the first 6 months was like hard. So I went in 2021. I was supposed to be on a 13-month track, daytime, meaning I was there like basically day into afternoon. So early morning, like 10 to 2. And it was like 5 days a week. So I was supposed to be a 13-month. It was considered kind of like full time, so to speak, because I was doing like basically every day of the week. And yeah, like it was like 21 modules or something like that to complete. And the first few months was just so tragic. Like I went in with two other people. We started off on Zoom, so we did our orientation and stuff like that. We met like a really cool teacher, really nice. We had started to get into like Swedish and stuff like that, and then things were like going left with like the admin. Really the owner. Let's be real. With the owner and like policies they were trying to invoke, and it's just a lot of bickering back and forth. We lost a teacher. It was just ratchet ghetto shit. It was just like, wow, like why is it so bad? Like why is this shit so bad? Um it was just, it taught me a lot. Like I met a lot of cool people along the way. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I ended up, it was supposed to be a 13-month track. I ended up on like a 17, 18-month track. So I started March 2021 and I was supposed to finish basically March, April 2022. And I like at December 2020, December 2020, my car messed up, and I was like, well, I thought it was gonna be a bigger issue than it was. And I just like took time off. I like took a month off or something like that. But that ended up pushing me back because I reintroduced myself with Sunday classes, or was it Sunday classes? I think it was Sunday classes. It was a weekend class, and it was like one day a week, and I was taking one class, and it was like 6 or 7 weeks to blah blah blah. But it was all day, like basically from like 10 to 4 or something like that, 10 to 5, something like that. And so eventually they were like, well, you can't continue on that track, because I did get some like government money and stuff like that, but I had to take out loans and blah blah blah. So I got some government money, but I had to like go back to like full time in some capacity. So I ended up being a nighttime student. So I went from day to weekend to nighttime student. So I finished my program as a nighttime student essentially. Um, I came in with two other people. Like we started in March. By like July, August, like both of them like were not really there no more, and that was kind of like sad because it's just like, okay, I came in with like a cohort, so to speak, and they weren't there. And then it was like one girl that came after me. So she ended up unofficially being in our cohort, but she ended up finishing before all of us. Well, she ended up finishing before me, right? So because like two of them, one girl left and then another girl left, and it was just like me and her. And she like stayed on her track and was like finished on time. I didn't stay on my track. So like I had a balance to pay, and like I just like was not paying it until like the end of the um really, yeah, the end, like 2023, I think. Because I was like working, then I lost a job, and then I started working again. So it was just like, okay, like I can finally like get this together. I ended up having to get like another loan to cover the balance, and then like I'm just paying off that loan now and the other loans. Well, really that main loan. The other ones are, um, what's it called? Not forbearance, I think. But this one I couldn't get into that. I have to pay it like per month or whatever. So okay, cool, whatever. Um, I started this journey thinking like, yeah, I'm being LNT and stuff like that. But it was just like a series of things that happened that just like opened my mind to like how people act in like business and just shit like that. And I just like the business side of things like really discouraged me. A lot of the interactions I had with not the staff, but like the management was really lower. Um, Discouraged me a lot. It was a lot of drama. It was a lot of back and forth. It was a lot of just like issues on their end. Like nobody in the school like hated each other as far as students go. You know, like sometimes you like hear these, especially estheticians. Ooh, like I watch videos about that, and they be like the girls be all catty and stuff like that, and it's just like nobody was like that. Like most of the people there, like were on a spiritual wave, so it was kind of like we all like rocked with each other. Like it didn't matter if you were like uber spiritual or not, but like everybody there was like spiritual to some capacity. Like they could have been like it could have been like Christian or Buddhist or whatever, but like there was some sort of spiritual component that like tied everybody there. And I kind of find that massage therapy, I said this, I was like, massage therapy is like for people who are like there's like three kind of massage therapists. It's like the one that goes in that's just a massage therapist, and like they're just gonna stay on that track all the way through. There's the one who's like spiritual, and they're gonna stay on that track, and then there's the one who comes in thinking they're just massage, and then they like end up being exposed to other things and they become more spiritual. Like there's something about that experience that spiritually awakens them or like guides them. Um, and so yeah. So some of the courses that we ended up taking as a massage therapist, so we took like the Swedish. The program was kind of like, let me step back. The program was kind of dysfunctional and disorganized in that like you did learn the basics kind of at the beginning, but like you jumped around. So like I may be in a class and I may have come in with a cohort, right? But at some point we may get broken up. So like we may have taken Swedish together, deep tissue together, and then like aromatherapy together. But like depending on the schedule, like I may end up in like spa and they may end up in like hands or something like that. That was another thing. Our school wasn't organized in that like some schools I've been watching people like they did anatomy and that was in its own like semester or trimester or whatever, and then they would do like clinics. That was its own thing. Like ours was like each module for the most part had like muscles that they had to target, some sort of so some sort of muscle anatomy component, some clinic component, and then some hands-on like instruction and book knowledge. So it was like a lot to cram in for each section. So it wasn't like I learned a bulk of anatomy for like 4 months and then like the rest I was doing my clinicals, and then at the end I did like a big demonstration or a research project or a business plan or something like that. Like it was like each section I had to like learn something. So like if we did spa, we would be learning like maybe aromatherapy, but then we would also for the muscle component be learning about like muscles of the face, and then learning how to do like a scalp massage or a face massage or something like that. Like it was kind of weird, like, you know. Then you would have modules that would be like hand, like you would just learn about all the muscles of the hand. That's it. Like that's the whole course. You would read about it, maybe something else that you read about, but you learned about the hand, all the muscles of the hand and the forearm, and that's what you're tested on. So we did a lot of tests, we did a lot of hands-on, we had a lot of clinics. There was like I said, there was like 21, maybe 22 modules. And so yeah, like there was always a test or project or something like that, generally a test, and most of the modules had clinics. I think a few of them like didn't. I can't remember which ones didn't have the clinics, but most of them had clinics. The cool thing about my school is that we learned a little bit about energy work. So, you know, when I talk to people who go to like conventional massage schools, like they don't learn that kind of stuff, and I'm surprised and I'm grateful. However ratchet my school was, like it was on point in that I got to learn a lot of different things, and it exposed me to things before I graduated. So I wasn't surprised that like Ashiatsu existed. I wasn't surprised that Thai massage existed. I wasn't surprised that myofascial, I mean, that's something you learn, but like myofascial, like training, cranial sacral, like we did all of that. Like we did a little bit of all of that. We did, like I said, we did Ashiatsu, we did Thai, we did reflexology, acupressure, we did prenatal, like we did all of that stuff, right? Like these are things that you would need like a certificate outside of massage and beyond massage to do, but it was good that we were exposed to it, right? Our clinics also were really good because basically every section you like had to work on something. Even reflexology, we had clinics. So people would come in for reflexology and we would do it. We had somebody for cranial sacral. And I think the clinics exposed me to a lot of clients outside of like just massage, and it exposed me to different modalities and kind of it widened my breadth of knowledge regarding like client interactions, because not every massage was like they're undressed, right? Like Thai massage, you don't have to be undressed. Cranial sacral, you don't have to be undressed. Reflexology, you don't have to be undressed. Prenatal, you don't have to be undressed. You can be for prenatal, but you don't have to be. But being exposed to those things, it also brought in different clients. Like I know I worked on somebody with Ashiatsu who have fibromyalgia, and that's something that I may not have been exposed to had I not taken that modality, right? Because like maybe the other modalities wouldn't be something that someone with fibromyalgia would be good for, like reflexology, like pressing into somebody's skin that may not be, you know, Thai massage may not be as comfortable, but like something like Ashiatsu was suitable for them. So it exposed me to a lot of things, and it also exposed the clients to different things. Like I know sometimes they didn't know what they were getting, and that was like on the part of the administration. So they would show up and we'd be like, yeah, it's like not our like a massage, it's cranial sacral, but like the experiences that they were also having was like interesting. Like from these different clinics, I learned a lot about like energy exchange between client and practitioner, like boundaries, energies, like making sure energetically you don't take anything on, emotionally you don't take anything on, physically you don't take anything on from the client. You kind of learn how to protect yourself spiritually and otherwise. I learned a lot in that regard, so it's cool. Clinics for us, I was exposed to doing like 60 minutes, 75 minutes, and 90 minutes. And I think I had a few, it may have been a few that was 2 hours, but I don't think if we did have them, there was too many, maybe like one. But I definitely know there was a lot of 60, 75, and 90 minutes, particularly 60 and 75. So we learned how to set up a room, get the stones, clean the stones, how to disinfect, all that stuff. We learned it. And the cool thing about our clinics was that each student practitioner had their own room. So we wouldn't be in a big room together. We would all have our own room, so we could all kind of like get in, settle in, mentally prepare, do stuff like that. Get the oil bottles set up, any aromatherapy that we wanted, make sure the crock pot was good. Like we learned how to be independent, because I'm gonna, I guess, go into my actual work experience in another video, but we learned to be independent basically. And so having to adjust your table, having to adjust the temperature on the hot towels, on the crock pot for the stones, blah blah blah, like that kind of stuff. And then lastly, we kind of wrapped up our entire like journey. We did like a research section, which we also had to learn like different muscles. different muscles. I forget what muscles we had to learn in that section. It was just, it was like random stuff. It was like random put together. Like you basically learned all the muscles at some point. Like it's just, they weren't, it wasn't like a bulk setting of we learned all these muscles in like 3 months. It was like each section, it was like the body was broken up into different sections, and like it may have been a standalone course, or it may have been jammed in with another thing like a modality. And so yeah, so we did like a research course. I remember doing that at night, and then I ended up doing my business course online. And so basically we had to write a business plan and like make a business card, make a spa menu, things like that. And that is basically how we wrapped up the course. So my overall experience, 3 out of 10. My overall experience, I'll say, as far as like the teachers and like the students and like kind of like what I learned, I'm gonna give it like a 7, 8, because I think it was just unorganized as shit. I think the value for like what I got, I'll give it like a 7 out of 10, because I feel like, again, it was more that it was unorganized versus like the actual students. Like, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't issues with students. It wasn't issues with like actual staff, teachers, or anything like that. Like some of us, like, of course we didn't mess with some of these teachers. We didn't fuck with some of these teachers, but like the overall issue across the board, and like multiple people who were students there would tell you, would be like the administration type things. It's not really, it wasn't students, it wasn't really teachers. It wasn't like, you know, we couldn't find help. Like there was a lot of teachers willing to help us and go above and beyond. And that's something that I really enjoyed, because coming from college, like you may or may not get professors like that. Like in your major, yes, but for your general classes, like they don't care. Like if you show up to like after hours stuff, then okay, whatever. Like it's whatever. But like for massage, I felt like they actually did want you to win. Oh, another component of our thing was we had to go get like 2 massages. And I couldn't afford at the time, like I was struggling. So I went to one lady's place, and she offered to like just do the massage, and that was really kind. And we also had to do outreach. So we had to do 18 hours of chair massage. So that was our outreach hours. So we had to do like a certain amount of events, like maybe like 5 events, or 6 events, 3 hours total or something like that. And we had to do like massage. So we learned how to do chair massage as well. Like those, so these are skills that like by the time I graduated, my mind was already like bursting with possibilities, and like I just was exposed to like way more than sometimes I think like other practitioners were, based on like what I be talking about, like, you know. So I just be like, okay, cool. So that was my experience. I think I covered everything. Yeah. So thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.